Hi, everybody. Today we're talking about things I would not recommend after a breakup. And this is specifically for people who know that relationship is not good for them. You know, this relationship was not good for you and you're done and you want to walk away. Your heart is breaking. You've wasted your time in that relationship. Maybe you were disrespected. Maybe you didn't want the same things. Maybe you even called it off, right? So this is for someone who wants to move on. Things I do not recommend. Number one, getting a rebound. A rebound is someone on the side, like you go through a heartbreak and then there's a guy who usually chats you, who normally chats you, so you decide to start an affair or something with that person. I do not recommend rebounds because number one, that person is just filling a gap. You're not looking at their values, you're not looking at their long-term goals, you're not looking at, at them, at their character as a person. And someone who's willing to be a placeholder is someone who has low self-esteem. And the things they'll put you through might be worse than the things you went through in your relationship. I've seen people come to me because now the rebound is worse. The toxicity is worse. That's number one. Number two, you cannot run away from yourself. That if that relationship you're living was toxic or it was disrespectful, or it was not just a good relationship for you, you were part of that standard. You were part of that toxicity. Every relationship requires your presence and your participation. You participated in that relationship. Even if it was abusive, when he abused you, were you living? When he abused you, what were you doing about it? You're still the same person at that point, meaning you are still on the same level. So even if this rebound starts doing those things to you, it's very easy for you to find yourself just removing the coping mechanisms you were using in the other relationship and using them with a rebound. So you are still on that standard, on that self-esteem. We say you date according to the level of your self-esteem. And your self-esteem is basically who you think you are, what you think about yourself. And who you think you are determines who you choose, who you say no, and what you stand up for. So I would not recommend a rebound. Don't get another guy in that place. I would recommend the second thing. Number two, don't wait for time to heal you. Oh, heals all wounds. Who lied to you? It's not true. You have to heal. You have to work towards upgrading yourself. And this is my recommendation. I'd recommend you do a lot of inner work. And especially if that relationship lasted more than 6 months and it was toxic and it was really bad, I'd recommend you take time, even up to even more than a year, to discover yourself again. And especially if it was toxic, it was a bad relationship, dysfunctional. I was in a narcissistic relationship way before. And one of the things you have to do is you have to become a better version of the person who stayed in a disrespectful or in a dysfunctional relationship. The goal is not to go back to be that person who stayed with someone who was mean to them or who was not good for them. The goal is to be an improved version of that person. So time is not going to help you become an improved version of you. Working on yourself will do that. Come to me. I have my dating package. I have sessions. I work with you for a whole 6 weeks and I support you through your healing journey and through understanding relationships and even knowing, looking at the lessons, the patterns, and what to do differently, raising your self-esteem. Work with someone, read a lot of books, watch a lot of YouTube videos. Take some time by yourself to ask yourself, how are my last three relationships? What were the patterns there? How did I let myself down in this relationship? What do I want moving forward? What kind of a relationship do I want? And a question I even take through people who come to me, my clients, is the relationship you want, what will that require from you? Because sometimes I get ladies telling me, I want a really honest man. So, Muthoni, I want a man who's a good communicator. Okay. How open are you to feedback? Or maybe when people tell you their feedback or they try to correct you, you just automatically jump to your scared little child and you're blocking people, you're calling off relationships, you're throwing tantrums. The relationship you'd want, what will that require from you? The third thing I would not recommend is for you to blame yourself. No matter the role you played, the most important thing is to take the lessons. What lessons can you take from that relationship, and especially about yourself? Become a student of life. Let these things teach you. So what can you learn from that relationship? What do you want to do different, or what lessons do you want to apply in your next relationship moving on? So I would not recommend you to, don't blame yourself, just learn the lessons. This is life. We'll make a lot of wrong choices, we'll make a lot of mistakes. The most important thing is to not repeat those mistakes. The most important thing is to not repeat those mistakes and to learn the lessons. The other thing I would not recommend is for you to go begging someone to take you back. You're camping outside their house. You're calling their phone nonstop. They are grown up. If they wanted you back, they would. And that begging nonstop is very unattractive because it's a sign of low self-esteem. What you can do if you're in the wrong is apologize well, and ask them to forgive you. You can do a peace offering. You can ask them out for lunch. Hey, do you have, after you apologize, I'm sorry, or do you have some time? Do you want us to meet? Would you like to do dinner? Yes, you can reach out once, you can call once, you can send a text message once, or a piece of a ring, and then leave it to them. So you can even see if they missed you. So you can even see if they cared about you. Don't go begging someone, kneeling down, calling their mother, you're calling everybody. No, I would not recommend you do that. Actually, that's one of the reasons of why they'd leave you. Like, you're there begging and crying to be taken back by maybe someone who hurt you and dumped you. It's a sign of low self-esteem. So take yourself seriously. You have a lot of value. Yeah, why do you think they were with you in the first place? Recognize that value and don't go begging people and kneeling all over and calling everyone on behalf of people because you want to get back with them. The other thing I'd not recommend is using substance abuse. You're sleeping in bars, you're drinking every day, you even started smoking, you're doing what? It won't help. Heartbreaks are one of those pains that you cannot take painkillers for. And nothing will help you through that pain. Even alcohol will not help you. The thing that, heartbreaks is one of those pains that you have to go through the pain until you get better. Numbing your pain does not help, because once that wears down, you're still you, right? Taking those things will not help you. Heartbreaks is one of those pain where no one can feel that pain for you, can take that pain on your behalf, or painkillers. You have to go through the emotions. And it's during that time when you're in pain that you ask yourself, what do I want? What do I want in relationships? What do I deserve? Because that is what you give yourself. Even that relationship you're from, that is something you give yourself. It wasn't by default. And if you think it was by default, you're just going with the flow, then this is now the time to set out your plan. What do I want? What am I looking for? And so there's a disparity between what you're looking for and who you have been. And sometimes we want something, oh, I want this, I want that, but we are here on this other level. So you will never match that until you upgrade yourself, until you do better. That's why I tell people, please work with someone. I am trained. I am a coach, a mindset coach who focuses on dating, relationships, healing trauma. Because sometimes when people come to me, the reason why they've been in those relationships, like for me, the reason why I was in all those relationships that were not working is because of my childhood trauma, because it was really hard and difficult, and because I was used to difficult and hard. So when I got into a relationship that was abusive, that was mean, that was not good, I stayed. It doesn't mean it's not hurting you. It hurts, but then you don't know what to do. So you're there begging, why are you doing this to me? Or when they ghost you, now you even start ghosting it. You're just trying to survive in that relationship. You don't have to constantly be on survival mode. And I do not believe God created you to survive relationships. Why do you think people in relationships, why do you think we get married? Because it's supposed to feel good. It is a good thing, actually. Anyway, I'm going to leave my contacts here. You can always reach out to me.